Donald Trump campaigned on extending the Trump tax cuts, but how soon will Congress be able to push them through, if at all? Well, it all comes down to whether or not the Republicans decide to push through their entire agenda in one reconciliation bill, or if they divide it up into two. Here's Speaker of the House Mike Johnson.
I respect Lindsey Graham and all my friends who kind of preferred a two-step strategy. The idea would be get something done on the border and maybe defense spending right out of the blocks very quickly in what we would call a skinny reconciliation bill, and then do the rest of it in a larger chunk later. But I think at the end of the day, President Trump is going to prefer, as he likes to say, one big, beautiful bill. And there's a lot of merit to that because we can put it all together, one big up or down vote, which can save the country, quite literally, because there are so many elements to it, and it'll give us a little bit more time to negotiate that and get it right.
So Trump seems to prefer one big, beautiful bill, which means that it could take a little longer to iron out the details and make sure all the different factions within the Republican Party are happy. Here's what's at stake, according to the Wall Street Journal.
I agree with all that's been said about the difficulty of negotiating these tax provisions. There is a lot that is on the table. Some of the blue state Republicans want an added state and local tax deduction, a SALT deduction, which is going to cost a lot of money if Republicans try to go down that road. Trump has promised tax-free tips. There are billions and billions and maybe trillions of dollars of campaign promises that have been made, and it is not going to be easy to hash out which of them is actually going to be part of this bill.
Okay, so putting everything into one big bill looks like it will make it much more difficult to get anything passed early in the year. That negotiation process could push everything well past June, and there could be a huge danger to the Trump agenda by taking this approach. Again, here's the Wall Street Journal.
The logic seems to be that if you put everything in one bill and you force all of the Republican members to vote up or down, knowing that if they vote no, they could be dooming the entire Trump and GOP agenda. Good decision?
There is no logic here, Paul, in my mind.
Because of these dangers, Trump could be softening his stance on the one big, beautiful bill approach.
Now, getting your agenda through Congress, you appeared to open the door in your radio interview yesterday for a two-bill approach. Is it still your preference for one big, beautiful bill, as you have said?
Well, I like one big, beautiful bill, and I always have, I always will. But if two is more certain, it does go a little bit quicker because you can do the immigration stuff early.
What does all this mean? Given the dangers of not garnering any legislative achievements in the first half of the year, there could be an enormous amount of pressure to divide the Republican wish list into two different bills. That first one would be the skinny reconciliation bill that Speaker Johnson discussed, spending cuts, the military, the border, that could possibly pass as early as February or March. That would buy them some additional time to haggle over the finer parts of the tax bill, which means we wouldn't see the second reconciliation bill until possibly the fall. What does this mean for those of you who are trying to map out your Roth conversion strategy? You may not know whether the Trump tax cuts will be extended until almost next year. This is huge because if the extension of the Trump tax cuts doesn't go through, you may only have 1 year of historically low tax rates left within which to execute your Roth conversion strategy. If it does go through, and again, you may not know until the fall, you'll have 9 years, if you include 2025, within which to execute your Roth conversion strategy. And the sooner you know how many years of historically low tax rates you have left before tax rates go up for good, the sooner you can start to map out your Roth conversion plan. What do I think is going to happen? I think Trump will eventually succumb to the allure of getting a legislative win right out of the chute and push off the extension of the tax cuts until the fall. Are they likely to go through even if we have to wait until the fall to find out? Yes, almost certainly. Hard to envision a world in which Trump doesn't take that legislative win in his first year in office. But for retirement planning purposes, it sure would be nice to have some certainty sooner rather than later.